It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports. That's right. It is Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. That's right. Again, you know what time it is. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy?
You, baby.
I got good news from the Detroit Pistons. I talked to a good friend of mine who's associate GM, George David, said they're leaving today. Said they will be en route. They've been there 5 days, Ryan Ermanni, and they said the biggest issue, man, is there's no salt in Dallas.
None.
It's not even about the de-icing and playing. There's no salt.
Have they ever heard of FedEx? They can't FedEx them or USPS.
How far is it going to get you out of the hotel parking lot? Like, because this is like in the city of Dallas. They said they almost got stuck going to practice yesterday. They went to some small school to get a practice in, say they almost got stuck. So there's no ice. That's crazy.
You can drive a truck country. You could drive from Detroit to Dallas, Texas in less than 5 days and drop off some ice.
But how much salt are you dropping off?
I'm just saying.
Texas is a big place.
This ain't 1975 last night.
This is true. I mean, because that's the first thing I said. I said, like, you guys couldn't go to a near airport, or they said we couldn't move, we couldn't travel. I was like, something about that just doesn't seem right.
It does not.
It sounds very goofy.
Right. You know who else sounds goofy?
This
Tom
guy right
Mazawey,
here.
good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. Is Dallas a third world country?
Sounds like
give me a break.
They call it the third coast, technically, so you might be right.
You
might be right.
Welcome home, Pistons.
Hey, Tom, you getting any grief from your Drew and Mike crowd?
You know it. Ryan puts out today. Well, read what we want to tell the people as far as us checking us out on Apple Podcasts.
What we want to tell the people is if you do listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to us, we'd appreciate it if you'd give us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
There you go.
On Apple Podcasts. We'd appreciate it. So
I'm not asking too much.
I tweeted out, I put it on Instagram, and I put on Facebook the Apple Podcast picture of the Ermanni and Edwards show with Maz.
Okay.
And it's a great picture. There is just one part about the photo that is missing. There is no Tom Mazawey in the photo. Like this photo right here.
It's that picture minus the Photoshop big head of me in the middle. So it's just the two of you guys, and so the Drew and Mikers.
They've been letting you have it they've been letting you have it since August 12th, 2021.
So the Drew and Mikers are sticking my head in there, like me peeking out here, peeking out over there. So there you go. Maybe we can get the picture. I don't give a damn.
It is so great.
Can I come back to something yesterday?
Please.
Yesterday we talked about our favorite Tom Brady moments, and instantly the thing that jumped in there was
28-3.
28-3. How could it not be 23? You see him on the bench. You see
that's my least favorite.
You see the demon in him. Right. He's gonna come out right. But I went back and thought about it. It's not that moment for me as I'm thinking. Second of all, Tom Brady has announced he's retiring on February 1st, 2 years in a row. Why is he trying to take over Black History Month?
Oh my God!
Why is he trying to take over Black History Month?
It's so,
2 years in a row, February 1st.
I will tell you, it is so funny that I did think about that a little bit because
it's already talking about Tom Brady and Breonna Stewart for some reason.
It was being talked about and joked about.
My God,
Tom Brady.
I love
trying to.
He's got a little brother in him. That's what it is.
On Black History Month. By the way, if you are watching on the website as well, you may have noticed that there are some changes on woodwardsports.com. Check out the latest scores around the Sports Fresh articles, and of course watch all of our live shows. If you go to woodwardsports.com during a time of a live show, 8 to 10, 11 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 7, that live show will automatically populate, and you can navigate from there. It is great stuff. Lots of awesome additions and updates coming soon too. Check it out, woodwardsports.com.
I didn't get my moment out. My Tom Brady moment.
Oh, sorry, man.
Now that was just side note, kind of funny.
Oh.
But the moment is this. It's got to be the Orange Bowl. It's got to be the 2000 Orange Bowl. And the reason I say that, you saw all he went through at Michigan. Is he starting? Is he not starting? Is it him? Is it Drew? Well, I'm playing better, but we're still going to play Drew. What Steinbrenner's on my head. What do you want me to do? He went through a lot of University of Michigan. And to finish off by beating Alabama in the Orange Bowl with Sean Alexander, one of the best running backs in NFL history, he was down 14-0 in the first half. Erased that deficit, and then he was down 28-14, and in the second half in the fourth quarter, erased that deficit.
I'll never forget it.
And they ended up winning 369 yards.
David Terrell, baby.
3 touchdowns, baby.
That's right. I'll never forget it.
He saved the best for last. 369, the most he's ever had in Michigan. 4 touchdowns, the most he's ever had in Michigan. So it's got to be that moment.
You know, I'm surprised that Groundhog Day wasn't yesterday with the Brady announcement. Groundhog Day is today.
What a guy.
Groundhog Day today.
That son of a bitch saw a shadow.
And now is this the biggest racket you've ever seen in your life?
Punxsutawney Phil, baby.
Punxsutawney Phil. The pomp and circumstance. And all these men dressing up all ridiculously, and they pull this groundhog out of the ground.
Phil?
And they unscroll this thing. Oh, and they read this thing as if this Punxsutawney Phil character just started writing, oh, I saw my shadow today. You'll see 6 more weeks of winter. Well, no, Sherlock.
Where's Peter when you need him?
Oh, my gosh. Is that Phil? Phil Connor?
Where's Peter?
Ned Ryerson? So anyway, he screwed us. We got 6 more weeks of winter instead of a short winter into spring.
Well, I mean, the good thing about it is
a pretty good winter so far.
You took the words out of my mouth. This has been a good winter. Like, we've only had, 2 snow days, if you will. One was an accident of sorts. It hasn't been that cold.
Knock wood.
Even right now, it's not that cold outside. It's about 28.
I mean, it's a great day today.
It is. It's a beautiful day. The sun's out.
This 28 with the sun feels a lot better after getting a couple of days in the single digits. I mean, 28 feels like a 60-degree day. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Guys, you see some 30 years ago today, did want to point out Groundhog Day, the movie, Bill Murray. One of his best.
Yeah.
I think it's a top 5 Bill Murray movie.
I agree.
Yeah. It's a top 5.
Love the Sonny and Cher jam.
The thing that sucks about that movie is what was his Ramis?
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis. What sucks is after that movie, their friendship ended.
Yep.
And then right before Harold Ramis died, Bill Murray and him, they did mend their friendship. So that was a good thing. I think it was something crazy like Bill flew in, didn't know where Harold Ramis lived, and went to the police station like, hey, can you take me to Harold's house? And they took him to Harold Ramis' house. They had a moment, and I think Harold Ramis died like 2-3 months later. But they did mend the relationship,
right.
So it ends on a good note.
It is. I did see a documentary or something about that.
I think it was like that movies that raised us or something on Netflix. And they're talking about Ghostbusters.
That's right.
That's
it was
what
the movies that made us.
Why'd they break up?
Nobody really knows, but it was something that happened
on this set.
Yeah.
Of Groundhog?
Groundhog Day. It was the last time they spoke.
Yeah.
It was the last time they spoke, and they didn't speak for decades.
Wow.
And like this strong friendship, and I think Harold Ramis' son or daughter, I don't remember, but it was a kid of his.
It was his daughter.
It was his daughter that said, Bill, you got to come, he's dying. You know, like
those guys in Stripes.
Yeah.
Were unbelievable. That movie kills it for
That's
me.
a top 5 movie
That's
as well.
That's a killer, man. But how about the great comedy?
Lighten up, Francis.
The great comedy teams like Abbott and Costello, they fought. The Three Stooges fought. Martin Lewis fought. Right. They all broke up, and then at the end of their lives, they hug it out.
You spend that much time together, like in that creative space. Like you guys are probably fighting like cats and dogs majority of the time, and then eventually, probably something gets said, a line gets crossed, or someone thinks, and then you just never go back. It's that you spend so much time together.
All right, Booner asked for it on the chat. If you're in the WoodwardSports.com chat, we certainly appreciate it. Okay, top 5 right off the top of my head: Stripes, Caddyshack, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, and
Scrooged?
No.
Are we talking about
a lot of people like Scrooge.
Are we talking about Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Got you. Ghostbusters? Oh, you got 4. What about Bob?
What about Bob? I love What About Bob. It's a great Bill Murray film.
Let me ask you this. Yes. I'm going to be in the minority here.
Yeah.
I hated him in Caddyshack. I hated that character.
You're in the minority.
I know.
You're in the minority.
I know.
I mean,
now look, my daughter.
I'm jumping in Hong Kong.
I
made my way over to Tibet,
where
I got on as a looper.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, come on. It's one of the greatest lines in cinematic history.
So
I think what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Ryan on this one. I think what makes that movie even funnier is like this is really them. Like when you watch things and you can see like, nah, this is them all the time, and it was that nuts. That's how they really were. Because that movie's about them being caddies in Chicago or being right outside Chicago. That was really that clubhouse, and that was really them. That movie's funny as hell.
I got 3 girls.
Speaking of gophers,
two of them are caddies. So I have Lily sit down and watch Caddyshack with me because she's never watched it. This was last year. And she could not stand the Bill Murray character.
Why?
Either. I just think it's stupid.
Ooh,
everything else I like better.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, he had a couple of good lines. There were a couple of good lines.
Yeah,
there were.
You know, him and Chevy Chase, they filmed the one scene, and that's all they did because they hated each other.
Yeah, they hated each other. But everybody hated Chevy.
Yeah, they weren't. One of the things about Caddyshack. So, and I heard this. It was in one of the Caddyshack documentaries. It was a really big get to get Rodney Dangerfield to do the film. Really huge. So first day of filming, and it was the day the Rodney Dangerfield where he plays the music loudly.
Oh yeah,
right. First time Rodney Dangerfield is there. First day of shooting, and he's like 4 hours late, and they're like, "Oh man, he's not going to show. He's not going to show." Well, he pulls up 4 hours late in a limo, drives him up, and this director had a table. The director had a table. And Rodney Dangerfield gets out of the car and goes up to the director's table, pours out some cocaine, gets 4 lines of cocaine, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're ready to go.
Wow. Really?
Gotta love the 80s, baby.
That is classic.
Is that great? Is that classic? Can you imagine somebody doing that right now? Can you imagine somebody doing that right now? In the 80s and the 70s.
Well, maybe even now. Maybe now.
By the way, I'm getting kicked off the show via the chat. They've had enough of me. Another bad take by me.
Another bad take.
So 2023, it looks like the roles are reversing with Ryan and Maz. Maz is now the guy getting clown emojis.
Oh man,
people hated working with Chevy Chase. Like I was like watching a documentary talking about
Fletch
John
is one of my
Williams.
all-time favorites.
Fletch is
great movie.
But you notice how the descent of Chevy, like right after like the mid-late 80s, like he starts to be in less and less, and eventually no roles. They got tired of him. They say he was impossible to work with.
Right. Speaking of Chevy Chase, Chevy Chase reminds me of.
Where are you going, Chevy Chase? How you pivot from that?
Chevy Chase reminds me of Drew Lane in a way.
Okay.
Like when he's sitting in Caddyshack and the girl said, "Oh, there's like a $50,000 check just laying right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep it.
That's true.
Keep it.
Hey, Drew, can you cash this check, please? It's been a year.
It's so funny. Oh, guys, having a little fun.
That's a hell of a start.
Yeah, having a little fun with Groundhog Day. Lots of football talk to get to today. Lots of. I want to talk about a little bit of baseball talk as well. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Already? Chili Peppers Tanning, that's right. We're leading off the show. 27 locations and more on the way, 2 right here on Woodward. If you want to get your best tan, Chili Peppers Tanning is the place for you, especially if you join the Pepper Club, because they'll beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning. And, of course, you get the cleanest salons in the D. The hottest deals, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, chilipepperstanning.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages and premium bottled waters. Citron is functional, it's fun, and it's fashionable. That's the key. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, then look no further than Citron.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, just want to remind you, if you are watching on woodwardsports.com, thank you so much for doing that. Check out the latest scores, fresh articles, and of course, watch all of our live shows. We've given the website a little bit of a facelift, and we encourage all of you to check it out. If you are watching, or excuse me, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get woodwardsports.com, we certainly appreciate it. Subscribe to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show.
Gotta get the Maz part in
Give
there.
us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We would absolutely appreciate that. Hey, before we get into some football talk, did you see what the Tigers are doing with their broadcast?
I did.
They have made some changes. Jack Morris is out. Craig Monroe has been elevated to the primary analyst role.
SEMO.
Going to get about 130 games. Kirk Gibson, Dan Petrie, of course, back. But how about this for some new guys, too? Todd Jones and Cameron Maben
The roller coaster
will be part of the broadcast. Cameron Maben going to get about 30 games or so and have other responsibilities. Cameron Maben 1 year at the Yes Network doing the Yankees games, so he comes back. I love Cameron Maben. I was at Yankee Stadium sitting behind home plate when Cameron Maben had his first major league home run against Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
It was really
He got
incredible.
a great smile, that guy, man.
He
lights
does.
up
He's
a
going to be
room.
really good. And Todd Jones is very entertaining. Very entertaining. The roller coaster.
He was the man.
The human roller coaster.
He
Absolutely
took a lot of beating, man.
Love
He
Todd
took
Jones.
a beating back
one of the
in the
greatest
day.
relievers and one of the worst in Tigers history.
I would defer to you gentlemen on that, although I was looking this. I know Craig Monroe is a good friend of mine. It's good to see him still in there. And Trevor Thompson's still on the docket.
Love Trevor.
Trevor was there at Michigan. He's one of the guys I would talk to. The Ham and Trevor Thompson. Those are two people I can talk to all the time.
One of the best guys out there.
He's a great guy. A great guy.
Craig Monroe's infusion into the booth is
needed.
Absolutely needed.
Yes.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. It is a broadcast that
It's a dry
needs
booth.
a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you are getting your teeth kicked in and night out, it's not entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. The booth needs a little bit of entertainment, and Craig Monroe will provide that.
I think we're starting to see that around the sports field, whether it's basketball, whether it's NHL, whether it's NFL, whether it's NBA. You're starting to see the infusion, like as your word, of energy, of youth, of exuberance. You know, one of my favorite games to watch or teams to watch. It's nowhere near Detroit. It's not even football. It's the Charlotte Hornets. When their games are on, when they play a decent opponent, their commentators are through the roof. Now, they're a little extra, but their commentators are so exciting and so exciting to watch. A layup just to score 2 points in the first quarter. You think they're out here in the finals, but you got to have that energy. People were talking about when Tony Romo first came on the scene, and when he was good, when you liked him, Maz, his energy is what brought you into the booth on NB or CBS. You're like, you know what? This isn't bad. I like that. This energy is good. Think he'll have some of that, but he doesn't do too much. That's the key.
Other than John Smoltz, I think John Smoltz is great.
He is.
But
He's from here.
But other than John Smoltz, you know, pitchers aren't. I don't think pitchers are really good.
Well, Steve Stone, one of the best in the biz. He was the Cubs. Now he's with the White Sox. Stoney is great in the booth. And
A lot of people hate him
pitcher.
too.
I love him.
You know,
I love him.
Yeah, but I don't know. And I just think about Jack. Like, I don't care about like a 3-seam fastball or like where somebody's arm angle is. You know, I don't care about. I think most baseball fans don't care about that. You need somebody just to kind of talk to you, like
Smoltz breaks it down easier. He dumbs it down for you, Smoltz,
right.
when he's with Joe Buck,
like
now Joe
for
Davis.
idiots.
I mean, no disrespect to Jack Morris, but it's just so freaking boring. It's
descriptive.
You know what I mean? So hopefully Craig Monroe can provide a little bit of entertainment, and Cameron Maben and Todd Jones, to be honest with you.
When you're overly descriptive, using words, concepts, and phrases that I don't know, it doesn't matter how detailed you are. It doesn't matter what you're telling me, how great it sounds. If you're over descriptive about something, I don't know what the hell you're saying, then it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to be less descriptive and also engaging for fans to be able to understand.
And obviously part of that broadcast team, as somebody points out on Twitter, I love Peaches. I think Peaches is underused. Dan Petrie.
Oh, yeah.
I think he is absolutely one of the best
He'd be perfect
out
in the
there.
radio booth with Dan.
Absolutely
Dickerson.
perfect. And I hope Dan Petrie does get that job full time in the radio booth when it is.
I think he will.
Up. I think Dan Petrie is one of the best people, one of the most knowledgeable guys, and very entertaining. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. This Bally situation.
You said Peaches, and for some reason I thought about Coming to America. My name is Peaches, and I'm the best.
All the DJs
want to feel my hiccup.
Guys, let's talk a little Lions.
Be serious.
Did you see the news today? Dre Bly coming back as a defensive backs coach, Steve Heiden as the tight end coach. Two more former players, but most notably, Dre Bly is going to get all the love, and rightfully so here. One of really the best Lions
free agent signings.
Well, obviously free agent signings, but one of the best Lions for a long period of time. He was in a group of elite members of the Detroit Lions. I think you'd consider him a Pro Bowler. He put out on Twitter, "I'm excited to announce that I've joined the Detroit Lions as cornerbacks coach. Thank you to Mrs. Sheila Ford Hamp and the rest of the Ford family, DC, Aaron Glenn, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, for an opportunity to come back home. Detroit Lions, one pride, let's go." Dre Bly, you'll remember. So many people, Braylon, talk about how the Detroit Lions were a paycheck. Free agents came to Detroit to get a paycheck. Dre Bly was one of those guys that actually performed. Dre Bly was one of those guys that actually came here and made it his home and really embraced the fans, gave it his all week in, week out. This is a slam dunk signing for the Detroit Lions to add to their coaching staff. And again, we talk about culture guys, and I think you have to have the talent. But again, he's a culture guy that is going to be here. Those players will look at him and be like, yeah, I want to be like you, because that dude was a baller.
Absolute baller. You look at what Dre Bly did when he came to Detroit. He was coming off 2 Super Bowl appearances, one in which they won. They beat the Titans, the infamous stretch by Kevin Dyson, and the next one they lost, the infamous loss, Tom Brady.
Championship.
That was the birth of Tom Brady. So he definitely came here out of that pedigree, and he performed week in and week out. He's a big brother of mine. Like, as I'm watching this, I'm just going back to Michigan. Charles Rodgers, friend of mine, rest in peace. He would take me once he got to Lions, and we would hang out. It would be Eddie Drummond, Dre Bly, Charles Rodgers, and me and Big Baby all the time. I was hanging out with these guys when I was in college. And now you showed me Steve Heiden got the job as well. Steve Heiden was on the team in Cleveland when I was there my first 5 years. Excellent tight end. Look at this, is a picture of us in the end zone.
Wow, are you kidding me?
Joe Jurevicius scored the touchdown. That's Jason Wright. Jason Wright's now the president of the Washington Commanders. Steve Heiden, coach, tight ends coach, and there's some slappy in the back of the end zone.
Look at that picture.
But as I'm watching this, man, I'm like, one, let's talk about Steve first. Steve Heiden, great, excellent blocking tight end and capacity, and for a big dude, he was 6'4", 252. He could rumble. He could run. But he's going to be a guy that gets these tight ends right, whether it's Zylstra, whether it's Brock Wright. I like what he's going to do. Mitchell at tight end, James Mitchell. But I feel sad, Ryan. I'm old. Like, I'm looking at this team. Like, Hank Fraley I was on the team with him. He's a coach. Hank's past 42, 43. Steve Heiden, he was on the team. I was on the team with him. He's past 40. I was hanging out with Dre Bly when I was, 18, 19 years old. I'm getting old, Ryan. All my friends are coaches.
You got to get that invite out to Lions camp. I need an assistant wide receiver coach position.
Maybe be assistant to the traveling secretary.
Mark Brunell. No. Hey, you knock it off. You do it. Mark Brunell threw me my last touchdown as a New York Jet. It was from Mark Brunell in the regular season.
You got Lions blood.
I know, right? I'm next. It's got to be me next.
That is insane. But a good day for the Detroit Lions.
Damn good.
Man.
It is. It's considering they lost Deuce Staley yesterday, and there's a chance that they might lose Aaron Glenn, because Aaron Glenn has got his second interview with the Colts today.
I'm intrigued by what the Colts are doing. They've interviewed like 12 different candidates, and I don't know what to make of what they're doing. Like are they just... I don't know what they're doing.
You know what they're doing.
Well, I don't know until it's done.
You've called it, though, and I agree with what you've called.
If they go through all this and still hire Jeff Saturday...
That's what they're doing.
Thank you. That's what they're doing.
But if they don't do it, maybe this is really the way to do it, is to really just kind of talk to everybody and see if anybody sticks. Bring 6, 7, or 8 of those guys back. Now, if they hire Jeff Saturday, this is all just a sham. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. no disrespect to Jeff Saturday. I really don't want to disrespect him.
Right.
But my goodness, I guarantee you there's about 200 other people that are on coaching staffs in the NFL right now that are more qualified to be a head coach in the National Football League.
Not if your best buddy is the owner of the team, and he wants you to run his team his way, and he likes you.
And I'm fine with that if you tell me what it is. Like, if you're bringing all these guys in just for a show, I'm against that.
Yeah.
If you want to hire, or if you want to hire your guy, just do 2 or 3 interviews and be done with it. Don't do 12 and waste everybody's time.
Maybe they're asking Aaron Glenn, hey, look, we're going to hire Jeff Saturday. Maybe we want you to come in here and be the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. How do you know they're not doing those kind of deals? Just because they say they're interviewing for a head coaching job, mum's the word. These guys can't talk out of turn. Otherwise, they're never going to get called back for interviews. So we really don't know what they're interviewing for.
This is true. I mean, that makes a very good point. A lot of times you have coaches, they put in associate head coaching roles. So maybe that's something that's on the table. I wouldn't know. You just don't know what Jim Irsay. He's very impulsive. He's a different cat. He marches to the beat of his own drum, as most billionaires do. They are eccentric. He's a little bit on the farther side of eccentric. I don't know what the play is here, but maybe you're looking at a situation where they're interviewing people and they just don't like the people they're interviewing.
Yeah,
very well could be the case.
It's not a ton of great guys out there. Sean Payton took a job. We'll talk more about him. Sean Payton's off the table. Like, Jim Harbaugh's not going anywhere. The young guys are pretty much set. Ben Johnson said, no, thank you. I would like to stay with the Detroit Lions. Dan Quinn said, no, thank you. I like to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. So maybe the ones that they wanted or the ones that they would pluck from, those guys are off the table. So now you're really just grasping at straws to ultimately maybe want to go with Jeff Saturday. If nobody you interview speaks to you, because somebody's got to speak to you. Somebody's got to make you like, okay, you know what? It's something about this guy. He can coach my organization. If you don't feel that, I'll go with my boy.
I hear Jeff Saturday speak, and I like the guy.
Me too.
I like him a lot.
Southern hospitality.
I like him a lot. I mean, talking about
he could be a leader,
being a leader of men, and this, that, and the other thing. Like, I like the guy. I feel like this is not the NBA where you could just hire a Steve Nash and the players be cool with it, or whatever. I think your coach matters in the NFL, and the coach matters to a large part in the NBA. But let's be honest, if you have Kevin Durant on your team, you have a better chance to win that game. If I'm the coach, it doesn't freaking matter. But in the NFL, I just there's something that does not seem right about it to me. So again, I see these 12 guys coming in revolving door, and I hope they're not being used.
It doesn't seem right because we've come accustomed to when you go for a head coaching job in the NFL, it's a due process. Like, everything we talk about with coaches getting jobs is due process. How many interviews did it take? Was it 3 interviews? Was it 2? How many people were interviewed for this various job? That's why it doesn't make sense, because it doesn't. But with that said, going back to Jeff Saturday, when you look at him versus Steve Nash is quiet. He's Canadian. He's happy-go-lucky. He's chill. He's not very boisterous, if you will. I never even remember listening to Steve Nash outside of when they asked him about Kyrie's comments about him not needing a coach, if you will. Didn't talk very much. Jeff Saturday, what you just said, you heard him. He's boisterous. He's a leader of men. Like, he gets you going. And in the football world, like, you're bound to give anybody a chance initially. That guy's giving you the right words. He's saying the right rhetoric. He's putting the right guys around you. Like, it gets you going. You start getting some wins. Why not listen to this guy?
I want to stick with this for a little while longer. Plus, we'll get a Senior Bowl update with our guy Russell Brown down there in Mobile. Checking out some workouts. There is one local wide receiver that is completely tearing it up down there, wearing green and white. We'll tell you about Mr. Jaden Reed. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Your local security experts have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Well, they'll keep you and your belongings safe. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, wintertime in Detroit is always better with sunshine and always better with comfort foods from Big Boy, especially when you get there and try that classic meatloaf or that Cajun chicken Alfredo. When you start the day in the morning, you go for breakfast. You get that stuffed potato pancakes, and those omelets are to die for. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, and the Blockbuster. Try them all, one at a time, of course, at your local Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Definitely one at a time.
Hey guys, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you subscribe to podcasts. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Please, while you're there, if you could, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We would appreciate it. I just want to clean this up about Aaron Glenn real quick. I am more concerned that Frank Reich takes Aaron Glenn to Carolina with him to make him a defensive coordinator there than I am Glenn getting a head coaching job in Indianapolis, because I do ultimately believe it will be Jeff Saturday who gets that job. Where do you think Dan Campbell is right now in this whole thing? I mean, obviously you've got to be prepared for your coaches leaving.
Oh, yeah.
But is there a guy that jumps off the page at you that you would, heaven forbid, Aaron Glenn leave? Because I think Aaron Glenn, I just would love to run this back one more time and just see where this thing could go next year. I hope Aaron Glenn comes back.
You know what? I haven't even looked to see if there's a guy that I would want to put on the roster as a defensive coordinator coach if Aaron Glenn leaves, because I don't think Aaron Glenn is going anywhere. You remember 2 years ago, what was his thing that he kept saying?
He wants to be the best coordinator.
He kept beating that to the media. He kept beating to the media. I want to be the best defensive coordinator the Detroit Lions have ever seen. I want to be the best defensive coordinator. Even last year, he doubled down on that sentiment. As of right now, Ryan, in 2 years, he's not the best defensive coordinator the Lions have ever seen. He was 3-13-1 his first year, and the Lions were horrible. Now, we know he needed more talent, and they got some talent, and they were better the second half of this year. But that defense was abysmal for the first half of this season. So if I'm if I'm Aaron Glenn, and I'm a man that values what I say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this right now because I'm getting used to the interview process. I probably already told Dan Campbell, hey, look, dog, I'm just trying to get used to the interview process. I want to see how it goes. I'm not leaving. We can talk about that later. We can drop that bomb on the media whenever you want to. But I'm just wanting to see how the process goes, because this will be Aaron Glenn at some point making a decision on coaching an NFL franchise. So I think he's getting the experience now. But based on what you said 2 years ago and then again last year, and now where that defense seems like they could be this year, job's not done yet.
I got your guy. Your defensive coordinator will be Kelvin Shepard.
He's a guy that I think.
Book it.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think is definitely on the rise. What he did with that linebacking core last year, with many people believe had no talent whatsoever. One of, if not the weakest position groups on the team, he got those boys flying around. Yep. He revitalized Alex Anzalone's career.
You got it. Took
this 6th-round pick in Malcolm Rodriguez and turned him into a really, really damn good rookie linebacker that a lot of people are excited about around here. I do think he is on track to be a defensive coordinator in this league. I'll say this, though, about Aaron Glenn, too. If the Lions project to what we think they can project to next year, I mean, Maz, Bray, we put them at 12 wins minimum next year. That would absolutely get you an NFC North Division championship and a home playoff game. And hell, if you can get a 13th win, you might be fighting for a top seed. So you can call me crazy all you want, but if Aaron Glenn, as a defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, who wins a division championship, who wins a playoff game, then you go. I mean, you go Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn going to be taken off that staff.
Oh yeah,
I agree. And if I'm Aaron Glenn, I keep saying Aaron Rodgers, man. I want to talk about him.
He's
today.
coming up,
and maybe that's exactly what it is. But talking about Aaron Glenn, if I'm Aaron Glenn, I take a page out of Ben Johnson's book. Ben Johnson, look, I think he interviewed once. Then he said, you know what? I'm good. I'm coming back next year. I got one interview under my belt. I see how the process works. I know what I want to do. Also, when you leave from winning, checks are bigger, Ryan Ermanni.
Yep.
When you win and then go somewhere, also when you win, you have your pick of places to go. When you don't win and they're kind of guessing like, well, we're projecting that you could be this coach. You got to pick what they give you. If they win next year, whether that's 11-6, whether it's 12-5, whether it's a playoff game, etc. Now you're Aaron Glenn, now you're Ben Johnson, now you're picking jobs. Now Ben Johnson can look at the Chargers job next year and say, hey, look, sorry, Brandon Staley, I'm taking that job. Now Aaron Glenn can look at a job that he likes. So when you win, there's more money involved in your contract, and you get the pick of the litter. So I think both those guys, one is already coming back. I think Aaron Glenn comes back.
Another name out there, Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
He wants to be a head coach. Probably not going to happen right now. But you know what? Defensive coordinator? Why the heck not? That'd be a great.
He would fit in perfectly with the staff, too.
Now, one of the guys that was here a couple of years ago and a friend of the show was our former offensive coordinator.
Hey, Lynn.
Anthony Lynn getting interviewed now for Washington's offensive coordinator's job.
You know what I would do if I met
Braylon? We both shake our head on that because we don't think he's great offensively, but here he is. He's getting another opportunity.
It's because he's a great man. He's a great man.
It's a relationship-oriented business, man.
Relationship-oriented business. Like Anthony Lynn, and I'm glad you brought that up. I watched Anthony Lynn because I used to crack. Like we used to get after it a little bit in Cleveland because he was just Anthony Lynn was a cornball. And so, like, we would crack jokes, and he would get stiff and serious. So, like, for a while, I stayed back from A. Lynn. I think, like, we joked too much. And I just would watch him move, like, with the owners. I would watch him move with the general managers. I would watch him move with the PR. I would watch him move with community relations.
I find him a prideful man.
Like, he's a prideful man. He's very polite to everybody. He's nice with everybody, asks about everybody's kids. That goes a long way when people are thinking about hiring people. They're like, yo, you know, A. Lynn's on the market. Oh, man, great guy. They may not even talk about ability. Like, notice the first thing I said, oh, man, great guy. Family guy, he's a great dude. You can count on him. None of these three things I said have anything to do with football. Guys like that get hired all the time because they're great people.
You brought
up your Jeff Saturday thing.
I understand that.
Relationship.
That's exactly right.
Taylor Heineke won't go anywhere with Anthony Lynn, by the way.
Well, whether it's Anthony Lynn and Jeff Saturday, it's a relationship-oriented life. I mean, adulthood is all about relationships, right? I mean,
so is this business.
The whole thing is relationship. The only reason I'm here, to be honest with you, is because of the decade and a half relationship that I've had with Chad Johnson, the owner of Lady Jane's and WoodwardSports.com.
And I'm here because you and D-Mac and me and been together for all those years.
It's a relationship thing, right? I mean, when they said, okay, great, I need Tom Mazawey to be the producer. That's what it was.
And then you brought my name up.
That's right. So
here we are, relations.
That's how it happens. I do want to say this. You brought up a name, Steve Wilkes. I believe that Deuce Staley had the assistant head coach tag as well on there. That leaves a void at assistant head coach. If you're Dan Campbell, if you're Brad Holmes, I hope you're having a conversation right now to say, you know what? This is a really great man. This is a really great coach. This is a really great spot. Maybe you hire Steve Wilkes as a assistant head coach position. Let him rove around. Let him sit up in the booth. Let him help you with clock management during the game. Wouldn't that be something?
I'd love it. Hey, remember when the Panthers...
Unless he gets a head coaching job somewhere else, or if he wants to take a defensive coordinator job. Yeah. But this... I think it's cool to be part of the Detroit Lions now. Everybody wants to be part of the Detroit Lions with what they have.
When the Panthers beat the Lions, second to last game, the two men met at midfield. Mm-hmm. Dan Campbell's like, you had your guys ready, and you guys kicked our ass.
I remember that. We played that audio.
Yeah, you guys kicked our ass. You guys were ready. You already got a relationship there.
Mm-hmm. The only thing with that is, notice most associate head coaching positions, most of those guys, they're positional coaches.
Sure.
They're positional coaches because you don't want to elevate your D coordinator, offensive coordinator, because they got too much on their agenda.
That was Dan Campbell in New Orleans.
Exactly, but once again, he wasn't an offensive coordinator. He was a tight ends coach. They do it because you're a tight ends coach or you're a position coach. You got less on your plate, so they can bump you up and you can still let the coordinators do what they do. So Steve Wilks coming here to take an associate head coaching drill, that's a step back, I think. You're talking about a guy that almost was a head coach for the Carolina Panthers. He was interviewing for that job. He was in the running for that job. So to come from that, you're talking about if Aaron Glenn leaves?
No, I'm
just
talking about
general?
in addition, because Braylon, any position,
but that's a step down.
Any position he takes is a step down now. Once you're a head coach, any position you take is a step down, unless you sit out. But some guys, they don't want to sit out.
Yeah.
They love football, so you kind of sit back and really choose your situation. You choose your situation. I think it's a great situation to be a member of the Detroit Lions staff, and I think there's a lot of respect there. I think Dan Campbell is commanded and deserves and has earned a lot of respect. And does he know everything? No. And that's where I like Dan Campbell too. And I don't think he gets enough credit for this. Dan Campbell is so comfortable with himself.
Being himself.
He's comfortable with his limitations. He's comfortable in elevating guys. He's comfortable with bringing guys like Dre Bly and Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson and Kelvin Shepard, firing friends. I mean, he is very comfortable with his ability to be the head coach of the Detroit Lions. I think he would welcome a guy like Steve Wilks to come in and take a look at everything and just really be an analyst.
I mean, Steve Wilks would definitely be a benefit to the team, and he would benefit. Dan Campbell would benefit by it. I just don't know if that's what he wants to do. But if he's one of these football minds that I can't sit at home, I can't wait at home, I need to have a job if nothing happens, then it'll be a great situation for him. I'm sure they will find a spot, make him feel good, and they will work that spot well. Dan Campbell, you're right. He is damn comfortable in his own skin. And the thing that he does best, Ryan, so many coaches, so many guys want to be the smartest man in the room. We know a couple of those guys. They're in state. They want to be the smartest guy in the room. They want to have all the knowledge in the room. They want to make all the decisions. They want to do all this. He is smart enough to know, I don't know what I don't know.
That's right.
But you know what I can do? I can bring somebody's ass in here to know that for me. And it's that job. It's their job to know that. I don't have to know everything, but I can surround myself with people that do. Those are called billionaires.
That's right.
Hey, sidebar, Brian Flores. He's just a figurehead with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But that's a great point, Tom, because that is exactly the role that I think you can hire Steve Wilks for.
There's a head coach that did that.
Brian Flores type role with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You could have a Steve Wilks type role here with the Detroit Lions. And look, again, any role that Brian Flores takes after being a head coach, it's a step back.
Right.
But that's a situation that you feel like, you know what, I can contribute here. There's a role for me to play here. There's a good situation for me to get back out there.
But at the same time, isn't it a role of burial, though? Like, if you look at Brian Flores, he's buried with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brian Flores isn't getting another job.
Well, they'd let him go if he had an
opportunity. He's not getting another job. Yeah. The only job he has in the NFL, his coach is what color? Steve Wilks is allegedly thinking about suing the NFL. Steve Wilks, if he comes here as an associate, he's getting buried as well. That's why if I'm Steve Wilks, I'm very leery about making that decision, because you're going to get buried. Brian Flores, I forgot he was even in the NFL. 2 years ago, he was the hottest thing. Well, last year, before the situation that he sued, he was the hottest thing going. He wanted for the Giants.
Let me ask you, though, Bray, is it, if you look at a guy like Wilks, is it more beneficial for you to be in the league or more beneficial for you to be out of the league? And that's a consideration too. It's you know,
I'd rather be in.
I would too. I mean, now Doug Peterson, he got another job as a head coach, but I can't. I mean,
there's a lot of guys that have set out, but not necessarily his color.
But I mean, the guys that have sat out that got a job, two guys. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl. I really can't think of anybody else. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. You know, I can't. I mean, Jim Caldwell, did he sit out a year before coming to the Lions?
No, the Dolphins hired him.
That's right.
No, the Dolphins hired him after the Lions. I'm not sure what he did in between the Colts and Lions.
Yeah, I think he came straight here.
Did he come straight?
I think he came straight here.
It was after Schwartz.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Jim Schwartz got coordinator jobs after sitting out. You know, he sat out here. He got a job in Philadelphia. He sat out in Philadelphia and just got hired somewhere.
Cleveland
for defensive coordinator. So
the issue
he'll be a head coach again.
You bring up a good point. It's a lot of guys that didn't get enough jobs and they're looking for coordinator roles. A lot of those guys that you name, they're defensive-minded coaches, and that's what Steve Wilkes is. And this happens to be an offensive-led NFL now. So if you're sitting out as a defensive coach, Ryan and Maz, you're absolutely correct. Sitting out as a defensive coordinator or sitting out as a defensive-minded coach isn't a smart thing in this offensive-led NFL today.
There you go. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Custom Health Centers. I'm down 16 pounds, and I'll tell you this much. Custom Health Centers is a big reason why. They take the willpower out of weight loss, whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds. They have a customized approach to whatever your body needs. Braylon, I think you are going to get on the train now.
I am. I talked to Jason today. I'm excited. Also, that drive. I'm getting that drive back.
That's right. Getting that drive back. Absolutely. Custom Health Centers. Call them today. It is an incredible program. 844-789-10. 844-789-10.
Woodward Sports loves sports, and we also love to party. Join us for the big super party. Wait, we can't say super. We really can't say come join us at our super party on Sunday, February 12th from the only place that can handle a Woodward Sports super party. Well, our super party will be at Flight Club on Michigan Avenue in Inkster. Join us for a live pregame show and watch party with the crew. Enjoy a halftime buffet. DJs, the Woodward Sports family, and more entertainment. You don't want to miss the big game with Woodward Sports. Get there early. This event will reach capacity. Come celebrate the Lion season and enjoy the final game of the year in style. See you Super Sunday at Flight Club. At least the party will be uncensored.
And the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Matrix Home Solutions. Join Big D Energy and Ermanni Edwards and Maz tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the grand opening of Matrix Home Solutions in Plymouth. Come check out all that Matrix does and have your chance at winning great prizes, plus autograph sessions from Braylon Edwards and Darren McCarty. We will see you tomorrow at Matrix Home Solution in Plymouth. Address is 41303 Concept Drive, Plymouth, Michigan. And don't forget to check them out online at matrixhomesolutions.com.
Very excited to be out at Matrix in Plymouth tomorrow. Come visit us. We will be there. And again, for all of you who are watching on woodwardsports.com, you may have noticed a bit of a facelift to the website. We hope you are enjoying it. Lots of awesome additions and updates are coming soon. In addition to what you are seeing now, please check it out, woodwardsports.com. We're talking a lot about
new coaches.
A lot over the last week about Bally Sports.
Television watching habits.
And they're about to go bankrupt. $8.6 billion of debt that they are carrying. Bankruptcy is looming. We talk about the USFL. We talk about the XFL coming. The Arena League is now coming back.
I'm happy about this.
Phoenix, Arizona. The following statement was released today by the Arena Football League through Commissioner Lee Hutt III. Their future business plans are as follows. We're back.
Yes.
That's what it says. And in relation to these football topics, football leagues that we're talking about, this is, in my opinion, the perfect time to capitalize. Let me put this up for you. This is the NHL TV ratings. Their partnership with ESPN and TNT. from Mark Burns. NHL US TV national viewership is down 22% this season.
Wow.
NHL regular season games to date have averaged 373,000 viewers on ESPN TNT. Second season of league's 7-year pact with Disney and Turner. Last year, the NHL averaged 478,000 viewers. An NHL game is getting 373,000 people to watch it per game. Tucker Carlson gets 4 million a night. Rachel Maddow will get 3 million a night. You know, like...
Yeah. I think Woodward Sports gets almost as this much.
I mean, a Woodward Sports clip has gotten a million views before. You know what I mean? This is unbelievably...
Wow.
Yeah, you know, when the NHL came back in 2021, when they came back to ESPN, you thought that was going to solve the problems. You saw the booth that they created in TNT, like that stadium. I mean, that studio it's awesome. It's real ice in there, looks amazing, but it doesn't work because they don't market their players. The NHL does the worst job of the four, marketing their players, marketing their brand, marketing their league. I'll tell you right now, if you're not a hockey fan, like a true hockey fan, you don't know who the top 5 players are. If I told you Connor McDavid, you couldn't pick him out of a police lineup.
Right.
You couldn't.
You know
Patrick Kane.
You don't know the face. Right.
Austin Matthews. Like, if you're not a hockey fan, you don't know what these people look like. They don't market
I
these
can
players.
pick him out with his porn stash.
100%. That's it. That's it. It's porn stash. So if you look at it that way, they don't market their players. Hell, when they do Bet MGM or they do that thing, who they use? Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier,
Barry Sanders.
Like, they go get those guys. And then they'll put a Connor McDavid in a commercial with Wayne Gretzky because you know who Wayne Gretzky is. Like, who's this Connor guy, though? They don't market their players. The same conversation I think we were having a couple years ago, and maybe even extended to before we were on the show. Baseball. Mike Trout was the best player in baseball for 10 years. Nobody knew what the hell he looked like.
Nobody knew him.
Like, nobody knew what the hell he looked like.
And Shohei Ohtani, the same thing.
And they only know him because he's Asian. He's of Asian descent. You can kind of take a guess.
But you still don't see him anywhere.
True. Like, the NHL does a horrible job at marketing their players. Their 2 biggest players are still Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin.
100%.
Those guys been in the league 15 years. They do a horrible job, and this is what you get. There was some pop when it came back. Like, ESPN did all the due diligence. Most of their games are on ESPN Plus. I don't know if that hurts, but they did their job. They did it. They got it out there. We were excited. I tuned in. I was watching, and then all of a sudden, NHL, they dropped the ball on their side.
Our good friend Sean McDonough, who we love, one of the best broadcasters in the land.
We talked to him right before.
Yes, he is the ESPN ABC lead play-by-play man for the NHL. He'll do the playoffs, do the Stanley Cup, does a game a week. Other than that, I gotta be honest, I hardly see the NHL being promoted, like Braylon is saying, on ESPN. You know what I see more? I see Breanna Stewart.
Oh my God!
Signing with the New York Liberty. That's their story for the last 3 freaking days.
That's crazy, by the way.
Instead of telling me the Rangers are playing the Red Wings or promoting that or that old music, bring that. Let me hear that music. Da-na-na-na-na. Let me hear that music. Why not? Where's Gary Thorne? Why? The announcers that they put on these games are horrible. And it starts with Kenny Albert, who I think is horrible. You're not Marv Albert. You're just his son, and you're not good. And then the other broadcasters that do it, and I'm not going to mention by names or gender,
They've become a politically
engine.
Serious.
It sucks. It doesn't interest me. You lost the real sports fans out there.
ESPN's owned by Disney, and Disney's just
agenda.
It's all agenda driven.
Like, I watch Disney cartoons with my niece. I'm like, oh my God, like, I get it, Disney. It's the same thing that they're doing ESPN, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, just very honest. But I was talking to DJ Tom. Shout out to DJ Tom before I came into the show. Man, he was saying the same things as you. It's like the commentators that do NHL. Horrible. They don't promote the game much like I'm talking about. And then, what's the game of the week? Like, in the NBA, like, there's a game of the week. I'm watching on Wednesday. I may only tune in for a quarter, but I'm going to watch it. Or on Thursday, or on Saturday. Like, the NBA is on ESPN on Saturday. Like, NBA is on ESPN on Wednesday. but NHL is on ESPN Plus. NHL, you gotta have the app to go find NHL.
And honestly, too, with the NHL, and it's no different from the NBA. Honestly, if you look at NBA ratings, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but they ain't gonna be that good either. And neither is baseball. Baseball's not gonna be that good either. These three sports, we've totally become a football-only society.
That's all we talk about.
It's all we talk about because, again, we're
feeding to the people. That's all they want to hear.
I know. I look at the numbers every day. If we talk anything other than football, you might as well just not give up. You might as well just.
We're talking to ourselves.
We're talking to ourselves. Yeah. You might as well just.
We can just go to our own basement and do a podcast.
I might as well talk to that wall.
Yeah, sure. That's it.
We have become a total football society. That's why I believe that these other leagues will work.
Yes.
The USFL will work. The XFL will work, and the Arena League will work.
And the CFL, I think, will come back.
Yeah, I don't know. The CFL, maybe, I don't know what its impact will be here locally in the United States of America. But again, there's a place for the CFL for sure.
I watch it.
One of the things you said, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. You know another reason why that's going to work? It's two things, Ryan and Monty. Thing one, the first time around for all these things, whether it was the AFL, whether it was the USFL, whether it was the XFL, all those things came in to compete with the NFL. That is no longer the case. The NFL runs all those leagues. They're filter leagues now. And those leagues work with the NFL. They know, hey, look, we're not challenging you. So we're going to abide by you. We're going to follow whatever you say, whatever protocol you say. That's one reason why it's going to work. Thing two, there's so many talented players in football now. Like, because of these kids, you showed the clip with the kid running on the treadmill, 7 years old. These kids are working and running and training from 7 to 8. It's so many kids now. Like in the NFL draft, there aren't enough rounds to draft the draftable talent.
Our most talented people, our most talented athletes are football players.
100%.
It's just what it is.
Thank you.
Look at your brother, the trials and tribulations that he's gone through in just his college career.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the guy just keeps trying.
It's amazing.
So with all these leagues, I'm excited for Bailey. I'm excited.
I am too.
Because he's going to get a shot in one of these leagues, and if he's got the goods, which we all know he does, he's going to get a spot in the NFL.
And let's not forget about this either. I can't believe we talked about this for 10 minutes and not even raise this issue. The gambling. It is way easier to place a bet on the Michigan Panthers and the Philadelphia Stars than it is to bet minus 330 on the Dodgers to win tonight.
I'm with you.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's just, or you bet on the NBA, and then you got a 25-point lead at minus 3.
Here comes garbage.
And then the garbage time comes, and you win by 1.
Beep, beep. Back up those garbage trucks.
So, I mean, if you bet an NBA game, by the end of the game, you're flush and you got a nosebleed.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. So you can't bet on those games.
Yeah.
You can't bet on the NHL. You can't
bet on the MLB.
You can't bet on MLB. You can't bet on basketball. I mean, you can, but it's very difficult. All these leagues will benefit from the gambling aspect of it as well. All right, we're going to take a break. Speaking of football, Russell Brown, he is down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl practices. We will connect with him. What's the latest from the workouts down there? Who's shining, who's not? Any local guys making waves?
Who are the Lions going to pick?
Who are the Lions going to pick? Hendon Hooker in the first round, 6th overall. We'll get to it all, but first a message from Fairway Packing Company, literally one of my favorite places on the face of the earth. You're looking for a way to elevate your dinner? That's right. You can start with Fairway Packing Company. Family owned since 1956. How about that dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak? You can figure out why the award-winning Chop House Steaks, those chefs, those top chefs in the country, choose Fairway. And now, open within the last year in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue, you can walk into the steak shop.
Is that right?
You just open up these refrigerator doors, you look around, you see which steak is yours tonight. You pick it out, it is vacuum packed, vacuum sealed. Ooh,
is this another steak night for you?
Visit online, ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Perfection.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Market, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Time to talk about Swiss Insurance Group. Be sure to check out Swiss Insurance Group this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a one-to-one effective date, including Swiss. Swiss can make sure you have the proper coverage. Go to my man Mark. Check him out. Give him a chance. Swiss Insurance Group.
How about that Monroe Street Minute? We gonna get that? No.
I think we're done with it.
We're done with it.
We're
It's
done.
February 2nd. That's right. Monroe Street. Hey.
It's over, man.
For playing.
The holidays are over, too.
Holidays are over.
Yeah.
That's
Guess
right.
what? The best holiday of all is coming to you in 19 days.
February
brother.
21st.
Booyah!
We're going to celebrate on the 20th.
How about Valentine's
Like
Day?
it's not this year. The big 4-0-ski.
Oh, my gosh. Braylon Edwards,
Where are you going for
840.
your birthday?
The big, I don't know, man.
You got to go somewhere for your 40th.
I will, and maybe later. Like it may be something I do in April.
Yeah.
I may wait.
You
Right?
gotta
Hang
do-
with you guys.
April's
wait,
good.
Exactly.
And then go in April. April's nice.
Maybe we'll all go together.
I'm with that. I'm down.
That's
We
right.
can go to Canton.
Hey, guys, let's talk a little Senior Bowl, shall we?
Cancun,
Let's bring in
Jamaica.
Russell Brown, National Scout, NFL Draft Analyst. You can follow
Where's
him
Russ?
on Twitter
Russell.
at Russ NFL Draft. Russ, how you doing, my
What up,
friend?
Russ?
Fellas, I'm doing well. It's nice to talk to you guys. How we doing?
Doing fantastic. Russ, the first thing I want to ask you is
How's the
this.
weather?
I saw your Twitter with Aubrey Miller Jr., the Jackson State linebacker, who is impersonating Deion Sanders.
That
Is
was
that
awesome.
the greatest thing you have seen this week?
Bro, it is the most unreal thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, just in person, to see somebody be so accurate with an impersonation. So cool to see, especially for a small school guy, to have him come in and kind of just show that personality. It's awesome. And he's actually made a couple of plays this week. So with that, and then just the play on the field, it's been awesome for him.
You know, you see players that we don't have the benefit of seeing or knowing their names. There's a lot of people there. We don't know their names. We don't know the impact they could have in the NFL. You know, Aubrey Miller Jr., a linebacker from Jackson State, is one of those guys that I've never even heard of before. I'm not even going to pretend to tell you that I've ever heard of him. But
he knows James Houston.
But
probably.
that's just it. You know, I did see where he said, you know, a guy like James Houston is blowing open doors for guys like him. Do you kind of see that happening with a lot of smaller school guys down there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see it all the time. This is my 6th time down here at the Senior Bowl, and let me just say before I get going, my apologies if the music's playing or if you hear a horn go off. Or
I love it, man.
Out of my
You're perfect, bro.
It's
You're perfect.
authentic. It reminds me of being in
perfect.
practice, man. Thank you.
Oh, Braylon, you need to get down here, man. It'd be a good time for you, especially. But yeah, no, it's a great experience for a lot of these small school guys. You know, there's an offensive lineman from Tennessee, Chattanooga. I hadn't watched him before coming down here, and he's somebody that really stood out in a lot of different reps in the one-on-one drills. You know, the way he sits and anchors, the way he's been able to reach block and hook guys. It's been really fun to see. So it's just nice to get an opportunity to see these guys up close, because that's what makes the Senior Bowl so special, is that you get to see these guys in and out of plays, and really you get to see what they do as far as you know, how they operate, how they take coaching, do they get down on themselves, and all that good stuff. So it's just a great way to see how they work.
Talking about McClendon Curtis from Chattanooga. Hey, check this out. You know, down there, you're looking at guys. We're trying to draft guys for Detroit Lions. Everybody's excited about the big name guys, but you got to find those smaller guys. You got to find that 2nd round pick or that 3rd round pick. I like the guy, Tajay Spears, running back out of Tulane, had an amazing season this year, and they finished by beating USC in the bowl game. Talk to me about him. What have you seen out of him so far?
Yeah, he's done a really good job just with his eyes, the way that he's able to cut and see the vision in the field, the way he sees it at the second level. It's really fluid for him, and he's just got this explosive cut about him. But then yesterday, he was taking on blitzes and guys that were more powerful than him. It was really great to see. Now, there's times where he really ducks his head, and it's not, he doesn't engage as much as he should, but he is somebody that has really caught the eye of a lot of teams here. And when we talk about the running back position, I thought Kenny McIntosh was going to be the guy that really stood out down here. It's been Spears by far, and he's somebody that, might have been a day 3 pick. He might end up going on the second day of the draft just because of what's happening down here.
I keep talking about here in Detroit, and the last person I asked you about, I turn over to Ryan for me. But everybody's talking about the quarterback position. Is Jared Goff enough? Do you move up and take C.J. Stroud? Do you take Bryce Young? What do? Do you wait? Is it Will Levis? What about a guy in Clayton Tune from Houston? Big guy, kind of fits the offense for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff might be a second-round guy. Talk to me a little bit about Clayton Tune.
I like Clayton Tune a lot as far as a day 3 option for, especially Detroit. I like his size. He's somebody that stands tall in the pocket. His lower body, he's got a really good frame as far as how he throws off, with his base and everything like that. He can't hit every throw on the field. He'll definitely underthrow a lot of passes, but he is somebody that if you need to bring him in and you give him coaching, and as we talk about potentially Jared Goff as that bridge, I think this would be a great spot for him in Detroit because he can build rapport, and he's a smart guy too. So if they end up losing Ben Johnson and they bring in another offensive coordinator, I think you don't have to worry about him not putting in the work, and not saying other quarterbacks won't, but he certainly just seems like a guy that's really passionate about football, and through interactions with him this week, he really seems like he's ready for the next step. He's very mature and really professional.
And it's also he can run the ball as well. 546 rushing yards this year, 5 touchdowns. He's a guy that can get out the pocket as well.
Hey, Russell, let me ask you about this because we were just talking about how much talent there seems to be. There's all these leagues now. The NFL, the XFL, the USFL, the Arena League is coming back. You've been down there for 6 years or so. Have you ever seen? I feel like there's just so much talent in football right now. Collectively, I mean, a guy like Jaden Reed, who is this guy by all accounts is blowing the doors off of everything down there, and everybody might be a mid-round pick.
Yeah, it's very possible, and I mean, when we talk about comparing him to Michigan wide receiver Ronnie Bell, and this is not a shot at you, Braylon, but he has been better than Ronnie Bell this week, and it's one of those things. I'm not taking shots at Michigan.
No, it's okay.
That's fair. That's accurate.
That's accurate. Sure. I like it. Keep it non-biased.
But no, he's got A+ tracking ability. Somebody that's in the slot, super shifty. Has a lot of fluidity with his routes in and out of his breaks. I got to talk to him yesterday at Media Day, and he's just, he's ready for the next step. He wasn't really healthy last season, but he's somebody that brings that special teams ability as a punt returner, kick returner. He's got the speed to burn a little bit, and I think when you look at, what he can do in the short and intermediate areas of the field, and then just what he can do vertically, it's really somebody that can become that mid-round pick and be probably a solid wide receiver 3 gadget type player in the NFL. And it might not be, at the top of the draft, but it's going to be somebody that I think carves out a role for quite some time.
Hey, Russ, I want to talk to you about the coaches. Last year, we got firsthand knowledge. We had our guys down there, Dan Campbell, Robert Saleh for the Jets. This year, it looks like, are they doing more like assistants? I see the Bears and the Raiders are representative down there. What's going on with the way they're coaching these kids out, and who's down there for the Lions?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Lions coaches, actually, and they haven't really been represented down here all that much. I was at dinner yesterday, and I saw a bunch of
spent enough time down there last year.
Yeah, and I think, the people I saw so far just been a lot of scouts and things like that for them. But as far as, like, the whole coaching style, it's been way different, right? Like, you don't have one coaching staff. You don't have Calvin Shepard and Deuce Staley and all those guys working. You have different assistants from across the board, and it's been kind of different. So some practices are a little bit more boring than others, but there's been a lot of energy between the guys, and it's been a lot of fun. So I think the first practice, the way that they end the day is definitely a lot better than the second team that comes out here and practices, but overall, it's been really fun to watch. I mean, these guys are learning on the fly, and I've been asking players, how different has it been as you learn and kind of adapt to the coaching from college to now, and they're saying it's just, got to learn the verbiage, and it's one of those things you have to figure out what means what and how it all kind of connects,
Russ, we're all looking forward to April. You were part of our show last year. Can't wait to do it again downtown Detroit, wherever we might be. But the NFL draft is it's the Super Bowl here in Detroit. At least it was up till this year. But we're picking at 6 and 18. I know it's only February. It's Groundhog Day. Where you going on 6 and 18 right now? What's your Lion picks?
Yeah, so for the fans out there, they're going to be a little disappointed that I'm siding with Goff. I'm gonna keep Goff. And it's one of those things, me and Neil Rule talked about it quite a bit last year, that it just seems like Jared Goff is the guy, right? But I don't think that they're going to go the quarterback route. And at 6, I would go the cornerback route. I would actually go Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Super fluid player, somebody that has great length for the position, and he is somebody that I think as he progresses in the NFL, he's going to get a little bit stronger. He's going to become more consistent as a tackler. I think what he can do in man coverage, especially as a press man corner, it's really talented, and it's really good stuff, and I'm not opposed to taking him at 6. And then at 18, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up trading up or trading back. But if the right player there is on the defensive line, I would consider that, and I would probably go with a Brian Bressie out of Clemson. That would be the guy that I would probably take if I would be them. I mean, you need somebody that's on that interior. I'd be really intrigued what they do as far as the free agency. If Ed Oliver becomes available, I love the idea of signing Ed Oliver, spending a little bit of money and pairing him up as a true 3 technique next to Aleem McNeil.
Definitely like Ed Oliver out of the Buffalo Bills. Quick question for you. By the way, Russell, you do a great job. You're short, you're concise, you give enough details, you're real smooth. Last thing, best drill and player you've seen so far, and if it's 2 different names, then 2 different names. What drill and player got your attention so far this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3. So that's how I got to roll with this, because I can't pick one. There's 125 players down here, Braylon. I can't do that.
My bad.
So, offensively, John Michael Schmitz, the offensive center from Minnesota, has been a phenomenal job in one-on-ones and in reach blocking drills specifically. He can get from the A gap down to the C gap with just ease. I mean, he starts at 0 and he can hook a 4-eye, no problem at all. He's super smart. He knows he's the best center in the draft, and he's somebody that's probably going to end up going in the first round. I could see potentially, Minnesota, Buffalo being very interested in him. Other than that, Keanu Benton from Wisconsin is the true 3 technique at the next level, 6'3", 303. He kind of was a little off today, but when you talk about power and a combination of swatting hands or swiping hands and the swim move that he has, he's super talented in that regard, and he at times reminds me of Kenny Clark, like a poor man's version of him. I don't think he's going to go in the first round, but I think somewhere on day 2 you're going to find a quality D tackle, especially as a 3 technique. And then lastly, this is my guy that I've been hyping up for 3 months now.
Here we go. I'm ready for it.
Julius Brents, the corner out of Kansas State, 6'3", 203. He's got great length for the position. He transferred from Iowa, super fluid. One of those guys that, as a receiver presses, as he pushes vertically up the field, he can flip and turn his hips to the left. And then as that receiver breaks 15 yards on a dig route, he's in their hip pocket and breaking to the right and flipping his hips to the right. One of the few corners that I've been able to see do that. Just super long, super athletic, can run with receivers, and he is somebody that I interviewed yesterday, and he is just cerebral with his film study. So I love that kid.
Hey, Mel Kiper's got nothing on this kid.
No, not nothing. Hey, Russell, before we get out of here, I do have one. One of the listeners wants me to ask you about J.L. Skinner, the safety from Boise State.
Safety linebacker.
Yeah, so he's got a super skinny lower half. He's really long, and he's somebody that I think can play over the top pretty well. He might be more of like a buzz defender, cover 2 type player. He, on tape, has shown some range to where maybe he plays as that single high cover 1 free safety, but at times I don't know. I don't love him. He dropped a couple of interceptions this year. I will say if I'm going to look at a defensive back that might be like a cover 2 safety, a true cover 2 safety, that's probably Christopher Smith out of Georgia. Super smart, can close really well. He can be that buzz defender cover 2 safety at the next level.
Dude, we could do this with you all day. Love to have you in studio when you get back home. Hell, we should do a day a week with you.
For real.
We'd love to have you, especially when you get back. Love to have you next week, maybe in studio. We can grab you for a day. Great stuff, Russell. Thanks so much, my friend. National Scout, NFL Draft Analyst. Great stuff on Twitter. Follow him at Russ NFL Draft.
Much better than Mel Kiper.
Absolutely. Much better looking,
Much
too.
better.
Todd.
Good one.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go.
I appreciate it, guys.
You got it. We're going to take a break.
Peace.
Come right back. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health as well as substance use disorder. Now, they are here to destigmatize mental health. Like, we're trying to give you the conversations, the information. We're trying to let you know that it's okay to not be okay. But we're trying to be here for you, trying to wrap the community around you, as well as substance use disorder as well. Sean Jordan does an amazing job at thesportsma.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Cousins Maine Lobster time. CousinsMaineLobster.com. Click on that QR code on the side of my big mug there, and it's going to take you right to their website. Download their app, and they're going to tell you exactly where they are on a daily basis. Those 2 trucks are awesome. They were here just a couple of months back. They're going to be here again next week at Woodward Sports. We were lucky enough to be able to taste a little of that food, because you will think you are literally in Maine to eat the seafood that they have. And it's right here in Detroit, Michigan, USA. CousinsMaineLobster.com. Lindsey Hunter was in the mood yesterday. What did he do? He went right on their website and said, oh, they're in Northville. He put his order in, drove up to the truck,
Get out of
picked
here.
it up, and ate it. Told me today it was the best lunch he's had in ages. So listen to Lindsey Hunter. Go to CousinsMaineLobster.com.
I think they're going to be here next Friday.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
They'll be here next Friday. Hey, some great stuff with Russell Brown, guys. Give him a follow. National Scout, NFL Draft Analyst at Russ NFL Network.
We got Scott Bischoff and him.
Excuse me. At Russ NFL Draft is the Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
He's down there in Mobile,
Scott
Alabama. Want to let everybody know, if you're watching on woodwardsports.com, you may have noticed a bit of a facelift to that platform, and we love it. We think it's great stuff, especially if you watch live. It populates right away.
Yeah.
So if you're watching right now, if you go there right now, our show will pop up and start playing for you. You can watch us. You can check out lots of awesome editions, updates coming soon, woodwardsports.com. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you subscribe, please subscribe to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz program and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We would absolutely be indebted to you forever.
Maybe we'll even change the picture on there for you.
Maybe
like.
not. It could be a thing. Hey, I wanted to get back to the NFL. The New York Jets apparently are all in on Aaron Rodgers. This from our good friend Dove. How do you say it? Dove or Dove?
I think Dove Kleiman.
Dove Kleiman. Jets general manager Joe Douglas is admitting to people in the league that the team will go all out in order to trade for Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. That is what's being reported. And usually where there's smoke, there is fire. Is there any doubt that this is going to happen? I mean, you know how they said that it was for Tom Brady, it was either the Bucs or retire?
Yeah, but we didn't believe him.
We didn't believe him. Doesn't it feel like for Aaron Rodgers, it's the Jets or retire?
I still disagree. I still disagree. I think it's Green Bay Packers right now. Listen, Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, who was the owner when I was there. What's up, Woody? Like, at the end of the day, he said last week, I'm willing to give a king's ransom for Aaron Rodgers. So we've known this already for a week, that the New York Jets were willing to spend. They were willing to give up first-round picks. They were in. We knew this a week ago. So the GM now saying, I don't think it changes things. If anything, you're wondering what's the holdup. The Green Bay Packers came out this week. They said he's not going to the NFC. So that eliminates San Francisco off the board. There are no other teams to go to in the NFC. So what would be the holdup if we know that the owner said last week that, you know what, king's ransom for Aaron Rodgers, I'm all in. We need one of these quarterbacks.
Well, it's not the offseason yet.
Now you get Joe Judge coming in, and he's talking about it. So you know they're doing there. So what's the holdup in Green Bay if that's the case? Could it be when you're the Green Bay Packers and now you're looking at the NFC landscape and you're looking at, wait, Tom's no longer in the NFC. Tom's leaving. So not only are the Bucs not going to the playoffs anymore, that means San Fran is going to have to deal with Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. Well, in our division, the Detroit Lions, do we really believe in the Detroit Lions? The Minnesota Vikings, we damn sure don't believe in the Minnesota Vikings. And the Chicago Bears, all they have is Justin Fields and nothing. The NFC is a mess and has been a mess. You look at the NFC, with the exception of the Philadelphia Eagles, who, by the way, are going to have to pay some people and let some people go. The NFC is a mess. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, why am I going to trade away my only opportunity to win a Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years? We can deal with the rest of the Green Bay Packers organization in 2 years after Aaron Rodgers plays out his contract. But for right now, in the immediate future, if I'm Green Bay, I'm like, so give Aaron Rodgers up. Although we're getting draft picks back, you go with Jordan Love at a time when this Green Bay Packers team is loaded and constructed. They're constructed to win right now. If I'm Green Bay, that's the hesitation. I think Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay Packers because they're smart. Look at the NFC.
I don't know if they believe they can win.
I mean, it's just true.
I don't know if they believe they can win. I think they believe, and I would agree with them if they believe this. I think they have a better shot at winning a Super Bowl with 2 first-round draft picks, second, and a player, and not having $110 million to pay out. I think they got a better chance of doing that than paying Aaron Rodgers, a 40-year-old quarterback, of $110 million over the next 2 years. I don't think they. I think they're on the decline.
But right now, their team, my bad, Mass. Now, their team is ready now. Romeo Doubs will be a much better receiver next year. Christian Watson got hot at the end of the season. Like, Bakhtiari played better. Tunyon even showed up at the end of the season. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, Maz's boys, they showed up at the end of the season. On the defensive side, Sha'Ari Alexander, he was a lockdown cornerback. He's top 5 cornerback in the league. He was good at the end of the season. Their linebacking core, Rashawn Gary was hurt, but before he got hurt, Rashawn Gary played real good earlier in the year for the Green Bay Packers. I think they're ready to win now and maybe one more year. I think after that, it's not a rebuild, but you're going to be behind the 8 ball for some years. Because right now, the only reason you're ahead on the division is because you still have Aaron Rodgers. You take Aaron Rodgers away from the equation, they're going to struggle.
I think it's a 2-horse race, Jets and Raiders. Down the stretch they come. Whoever gives the most up.
Devontae Adams tweeted out did an Instagram picture today with Aaron Rodgers.
Whoever gives up the most picks.
Now, I believe the league year, by the way, starts March 15th. So all this talk, we're going to be talking like this till March 15th, by the way.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to it. The more the merrier. Just keep it coming.
Yeah,
I love it. This NFL offseason will almost rival this past NFL season in games. I just believe there's going to be a lot of meat changing hands coming up in this.
And that's why the league is so great, though, right? Because of all this activity. I mean, it's boring if Aaron Rodgers goes back to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that's why this league is so great.
I was disappointed Brady retired because I was looking forward to him going somewhere else.
I swear to God.
At 46.
Yeah.
Seriously, this league is so great because you've got Tom Brady leaving New England and going to Tampa. Matthew Stafford going to Los Angeles after 12 years in Detroit. Russell Wilson going here. Now Derek Carr. Where's Aaron Rodgers going to go?
Jackson.
Jimmy G ain't going back to San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan said that yesterday. Take a listen.
That's a spring.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. Either way, don't worry about it. It's fine. Kyle Shanahan said Jimmy G, under no circumstances, coming back to the San Francisco 49ers.
That's good for them. I mean, at the end of the day, they've restructured his deal a couple of times to try and make him to have him on the staff. This year, they said, you know what, we won't necessarily trust Trey Lance. Let's bring Jimmy back. They're holding Jimmy up, and Jimmy's holding them up. But it's their fault he's holding them up. You got to let him go on about his career because right now you're just keeping him at bay. You're holding him hostage. They're doing to Jimmy G what Aaron Rodgers was doing to Green Bay.
But again, all this quarterback roulette is what is making this league interesting. And by the way, you know, I forget what we were talking about earlier, but you look at that NFC South: Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina. I mean, who's winning that next year?
Probably Carolina.
I mean, Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson goes to Atlanta, which, you know, a lot of rumors are flying about that. Now, I mean, my goodness, what a league this is. We love it. First, a message from the Foley Warehouse. We'll get back. Braylon's top 10 list coming up next.
All right. How about the Foley Warehouse down in Hamtramck, Michigan? I'm going to got bowling night tonight, so I'll be in St. Clair Shores. But when I'm not, I am definitely going to Hamtramck and playing the Folding game. It's great. Football and bowling put together. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for 2 hours. Run you $120. 10 or 12 people could be on a lane. Any drink you shall want, they have for you. Over 100 beers on the menu and the $2 mystery beer machine. Get your foal on today at foldingwarehouse.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is home to the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full-body workout in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all this, you get it all for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10 a month. Planet Fitness has more than 50 convenient locations in the Metro Detroit area, so no matter where you are, There's a Planet Fitness close by. Join in club today, or you can always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. If you are watching there, check out the latest scores around sports, fresh articles, and of course, home to watch all of our live shows, 8 to 10, 11 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 7. Check us out. WoodwardSports.com. One take, Bray, says Jason M.
Jason
Good job
M. Super
there.
fanning again.
Super fan.
Twice already today.
Look at that, baby. Look at that.
I need to follow his bets because whoever he's betting on, they're clearly winning.
There you go. Hey, guys, it is a Top 10 Thursday. Braylon Edwards, what do we have today?
With all the Super Bowl excitement, I figured we wanted to do something around the Super Bowl this week and even next week. And I thought about storylines. Yesterday, you talked about the storyline would be two black quarterbacks playing for the first time ever. Storylines are what make the Super Bowl. You know, you get 2 weeks of a storyline and it leads up, and then is it going to happen? Does it happen? Those are exciting. So what I did was the top 10 Super Bowl storylines that could have happened, but then I'm going to give you what really did happen. And by the way...
Okay.
And by the way, usually I do my own research, my own work, my own list. This actually is CBSNFL.com. I had to give them the credit they put together. This is them, but I did think it was intriguing. So, are you guys ready for the first five out the gate?
Let's go. I'm here for it.
Here we go. Super Bowl. LIV. Trailing by 4 points with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, Jimmy Garoppolo gave the 49ers the lead for good when he hit Emmanuel Sanders on a 49-yard score. This could have tied the San Francisco 49ers with 6 championship trophies, much like the New England Patriots. Well, that's not what happened. What ended up happening is Garoppolo barely overthrew Emmanuel Sanders.
Ooh, Jimmy G.
Didn't get it. They missed the field goal. And then the very next play, Damian Williams bust for a 38-yard touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs win, and they beat the
Niners.
The 49ers. Here you go. Super Bowl XLI6. What could have happened, down 28-24, the Seahawks won the game after Marshawn Lynch jumped into the end zone, barreling into the end zone. They win the game. Back-to-back Super Bowls for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks.
Oh, I love that.
That would have been amazing.
That should be number one.
But that's not what happened. What actually happened was Lynch didn't get the ball. Pete Carroll chose to throw the ball, and it was intercepted by Malcolm Butler. The Patriots win the Super Bowl. Here you go. How about number 8? Super Bowl 13, or Super Bowl 8. 3 years after losing to the Steelers in Super Bowl 10, the Cowboys gained a measure of revenge on the Steelers in the first ever Super Bowl rematch and the process, and the Cowboys won the title as a team of the 70s to become the first franchise to win 3 Super Bowls. Damn. What actually happened is, led by the game MVP Terry Bradshaw, Steelers took a 35-17 lead en route to a 35-31 victory over the Cowboys, and the Steelers were named the team of the 70s.
I hated that game because I wanted the Cowboys to win that game so bad.
It's so funny. I can just look at the Super Bowl and know who Mavs wanted to win. I can pretty much guess. Here we go.
I want you to do that one year.
Okay, we can do that. Super Bowl 32.
I got a story for every one of them.
I love it. I actually would sit there and listen to them too. Super Bowl 32. What could have happened? Brett Favre and the Packers win back-to-back Super Bowls. Mike Holmgren becomes the 11th coach in Super Bowl history with multiple wins. Brett Favre becomes the only 3-time league MVP and 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Terrell Davis.
Well, exactly. What did happen? An 11.5-point underdog. The Broncos pull off one of the biggest upsets Super Bowl history. Terrell Davis, 157
with a migraine,
yards and 3 touchdowns. He has the side note. Terrell Davis has the best playoff stat line of any running back in history.
Was he good?
If you look at his regular seasons were cool. His playoff stats, he averages like $170 and 2 touchdowns, Ryan.
Damn.
In every game, including the Super Bowl.
This guy hardly had. He didn't have a long career.
He
is amazing.
He made the Hall of Fame based off his playoffs. Because he deserves it. 8 years he played. He had one 2,000-yard season, which is amazing. But the playoffs is how he made it.
Him and Emmitt Smith, the 2 best fantasy football players in history.
Oh, 100%.
Hands down.
100%.
That was the spin. That was Elway spinning into the end zone.
The helicopter.
Into the end zone.
The helicopter. Yep. That's when they really want to
helicopter.
Here you go. Super Bowl.
Change their uniforms, by the way. That's why they want it.
They did. Super Bowl 36. A 14-point favorite. The Rams won their second Super Bowl in a 3-year span after defeating the Patriots. No dynasty. Kurt. What's his name?
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, the greatest show on turf.
Mike Martz, the head
Two
coach
back-to-back.
time.
Mike Martz wins the Super Bowl. Well, what actually happens is the Rams did not repeat as champs. They trailed 17-3 before rallying the tide. But insert Adam Vinatieri for his first crushing win in the Super Bowl with a kick. What about the first 5? How am I doing? What are you thinking so far?
So good.
You're bringing up the minute you say the number, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you know what's coming. I thought they were great too, because like the way that they read, it reads like it happened.
Yeah.
So when I was reading, I was confused. I was like, "That's not." Yeah. And then I saw how they stepped. So
Adam Vinatieri, he won himself some Super Bowls.
Carolina,
he won himself some Super Bowls.
The Rams,
Eagles, Rams.
That's why
Tom Brady needed Adam Vinatieri to get those 7
That's why they don't
rings.
give Tom a lot of credit early on. Like the first 3, it's like Tom was on the team.
Let's do this. Let's take a pause. We're halfway there. We'll take a break. Come right back to 5 through 1.
Sounds good.
Good?
I'm good with
but let me tell you about Les Stanford as well. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. How about this? Les Stanford has added the Buick GMC brand. Same great service that customers have come to know. You can check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Of course, looking for a Chevy or Cadillac, Les Stanford standing strong for over 50 years on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. You can find all the brands you want under one umbrella. Just head there now, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Woodward Sports loves sports, and we also love to party. Join us for the big Super Party. Wait, we can't say Super. We really can't say. Come join us at our Super Party on Sunday, February 12th, from the only place that can handle a Woodward Sports Super Party. Well, our Super Party will be at Flight Club on Michigan Avenue in Inkster. Join us for a live pregame show and watch party with the crew. Enjoy a halftime buffet, DJs, the Woodward Sports family, and more entertainment. You don't want to miss the big game with Woodward Sports. Get there early. This event will reach capacity. Come celebrate the Lions season. Enjoy the final game of the year in style. See you Super Sunday at Flight Club. At least the party will be uncensored.
And the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
At Alta,
Uptime
matters. Uptime matters on Alta Equipment.
Alta.
They've got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today. They'll have you covered,
Uptime.
guaranteed. 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Alta. Hey, we're doing Braylon's top 10 list right now, and what he has done, he has found this list. I believe it was through CBS NFL.com. Looking at the Super Bowls of the past, what could have happened,
right?
And
or
then
what
ultimately, and what should have happened, and then we tell you what actually happened. So with 5 through 1, we're going to have Braylon read what should have or what could have happened.
Boom.
Tom Mazawey is then going to tell us what actually happened. 5 through 1. Give me a little music for this, JB.
Yeah.
Braylon number 5.
Get us some music. Here we go.
I might need you, Ryan.
Super Bowl 19. Is that correct?
This is all
Super
you.
Bowl 19. Don Shula joined Noel as the only coaches to win 3 Super Bowl rings following his team's win over the 49ers. His quarterback Dan Marino capped off what was then considered the most remarkable season by a quarterback in NFL history after throwing 48 touchdowns, 5,048 yards. Maz, what really happened?
That was a shame, too, because I would love to have seen Dan Marino win one there, but there was a guy on the other side that wore number 16, and Joe Montana. And
Joe Montana.
The 49ers pretty much throttled Dan Marino, Don Shula, and the Dolphins to win Super Bowl 19.
Maz, Spot on, brother. Number 4, Super Bowl LI. What does LI stand for, man?
51.
51. There we go, man.
51.
Everybody should know this one right away. Ahead 28-12, Matt Ryan completed a critical third down pass to keep the chains moving. The Patriots made it close, but they ultimately ran out of time and leading the Falcons to their first Super Bowl win. Ryan joined the list of Super Bowl MVP winning quarterbacks to also win MVP during the regular season. Maz, what really happened?
To me, that's exactly what happened in my brain, because that's all I ever wanted to happen. I was putting calls into all my Patriot friends. Hey, up yours. How's Brady looking now?
Oh, you were that guy?
Blah, blah, blah.
600 yards
and
later.
And then Dan Quinn decided to abort the running game. Let's not run it. Let's not kill the clock. And back came the Patriots, and of course, the catch. They got revenge for the helmet catch, David Tyree.
Yep.
They had their own helmet catch with that bum, Julian Edelman. They came back to win it. First Super Bowl to go to overtime.
A lot of disdain for the New England Patriots in that voice I did hear. Here we go. You're 100% correct. Number 3, Super Bowl 25.
I'll just take this so you don't even have to say anything.
By all means,
the Buffalo Bills went to win their first ever Super Bowl championship with the run and shoot offense. There was no one that could stop them. They beat the Raiders earlier in the AFC Championship 52-7. No team was going to stop them. They were 11-point favorites over the New York Giants with Jeff Hostetler as their quarterback because Phil Simms was hurt.
Yep.
So poor Jeff Hostetler had to quarterback the Giants. So the Buffalo Bills won their very first. Congrats to Jim Kelly. No! That's not what happened. Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick designed a play, an offense that will keep the ball for 41 of the 60 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Otis Anderson would run for 130 yards and a Super Bowl MVP. And Scott Norwood, who would later become Scott Norwide, would push a 47-yard field goal wide right. And, of course, the New York Football Giants won their second Super Bowl in 4 years by that 19-17 score. Whitney Houston leading it off with the greatest Super Bowl national anthem in history.
Way to go, Whitney Houston.
That was amazing. Like, man, you can do the rest of them like that as well if you can.
Well, that one is close to my heart.
I see that. I see that because it's the Giants one. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, Scott
The
Norwood.
Buffalo Bills put 50 points up in the AFC Championship game. Nobody could stop them.
Yeah.
Except Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick together.
100%. I actually watched the two Bills, and they talk about the game, the strategy for
41 minutes.
They talk about strategy for that game. It was just it's amazing. You know what's funny is 47 yards back then. Everybody was pissed at Scott Norwood.
Right.
Like now. Like people are missing 33 yards on the regular.
Right.
Like, I don't think he'd be as mad in today's game.
Bet an automatic field goal.
He sucked on grass. He kicked poorly on grass, and he was a USFL guy. He was one of the USFL renegades.
Can you
that
imagine
came over.
if sports betting was legal during this game? Scott Norwood would have came up missing. Like for real.
It's probably worse back then than it is now.
Hell yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't come back missing.
Super
That's
Bowl
when you mess
42.
with the Gambinos.
Super Bowl 42. New England completed the first 19-0 season in NFL history. Tom Brady joined Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw as the only 4-0 Super Bowl quarterbacks. While they had an admirable run, the Giants fell just short of Super Bowl glory, and Michael Strahan would retire without winning a ring. Maz, what actually did happen?
I don't know. The wild card team, the New York Giants, they lost just a few weeks earlier, the last regular season game, to that New England Patriots team.
Oh, that's right.
50
touchdowns.
Oh, man.
Broke the record.
I'll be damned. There's a guy named Eli Manning. The helmet catch.
David Tyree.
Oh, David Tyree. Oh, didn't they get a sack Eli? No, he escapes.
Wow.
Thank God they didn't blow the whistle, by the way. They could have. Thank God they didn't. The helmet catch, New York Giants in the corner, Plexico Burress. Touchdown.
Thank God.
See you later, New England.
Thank God.
And number one, Maz, this is for you more than the people in the chat. This is a little older. Super Bowl 3.
I knew you were going to put that up.
Maz, I did that for you. Take it away.
Baltimore Colts happened to beat the Cleveland Browns in the AFL Championship game by a score like 40-0.
Right.
And they were a 19.5-point favorite over the New York Jets, the AFL champions, who beat the Oakland Raiders in the AFL Championship. Joe Namath poolside in Miami. Jerry Green from Detroit News, he was there. Matter of fact, he's going to miss his first Super Bowl this year. The great Jerry Green. Hats off to you, Mr. Green.
Hats off.
And he tells Jerry Green and the rest of the 10 people that were around the pool, that was the media for the Super Bowl. 10 people.
Now
he told them
150.
We're going to win. I guarantee we're going to beat the Colts, the Baltimore Colts.
Hey, Lynn's
and I'll tell you, they did it.
I want to kiss you.
They did it. I want to kiss you. Thanks, Joe. Matt Snell, touchdown, MVP. Joe Namath walking off like this. New York Jets.
That's your buddy, Braylon Edwards, isn't it? Joe Namath.
It is now.
Yeah.
Like we have mended our relationship. Great conversation.
You were mad at Joe? You guys were.
I was because
I didn't know.
Ryan always does that joke because he knows the story. Like he's like, I want to kiss you. Remember when he was drunk on Monday Night Football? I wanted to kiss Susie Cobra.
I could care less about.
When I was playing for the Jets 2 years later, I got a DUI, and he was very public about. He was very public, like you can't have guys out here drinking and driving. Like that's just stupidity on Edwards. But he did a lot of things. Now it was stupidity, but I'm like, ain't this the same dude that was trying to kiss Susie Cobra on TV? I never said anything to him. But I just never talked to him. Right. But then when I had the Jets alumni weekend, he came up to me and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then it was like, "That's Joe's way of apologizing." Right. I said, "All right, cool, we can be friends." So it was great. So that is it in a nutshell. Great job,
16-7.
Great job.
16-7 Jets. 3 field goals by Jim Turner.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Do you subscribe to the? Since we're talking about rigged, Ryan Ermanni, do you subscribe to the idea?
Yes, I do.
That benching Johnny Unitas was so that the Jets could win, so that the merger would go through?
I don't know about that, but I thought Earl Morrall, who was the quarterback at that time, former Lion, Don Shula's right-hand man, might have thrown that game.
But this was the thing, Johnny wasn't
wide open. Johnny Orr down the field, wide open. He throws to the opposite side of the field where it's triple coverage. I'm talking wide open. Johnny Orr on a flea flicker.
But the thing about it got me is
Sammy Maz been telling you for years.
Sammy Maz, here's a side note to that. He bet my Uncle Dom the whole year of bowling. Like, my dad had to pay for my Uncle Dom's bowling for the entire year on that game.
That sucks.
On that game.
Because Johnny Unitas, I want to say Johnny Unitas won MVP that year and was healthy that year, and they benched him.
He was hurt on and off that year.
But then he came in the game in the second half and threw two touchdowns.
Fourth quarter, late in the fourth.
And threw 2 touchdowns.
No, they only got 1 touchdown.
In the fourth quarter.
16-7, final.
I'm telling you, it was rigged.
Hey, guys, speaking of rigged,
the merger went through.
According to Adam Schefter, the Super Bowl jerseys have been set. The Chiefs will wear their white jerseys. The Eagles will wear their green. For what it's worth, the team wearing white has won 15 of the past 18 Super Bowls.
Look at that. They should win. They should win. The Chiefs should win. They really should win.
When you say they should win, why? Why is that? Why should they win? Because of Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes, 2 weeks off. He's going to be healthy. Travis Kelce. They're just on another...
They got a quarterback advantage and a head coach advantage. They should win the game.
They're on another level. That said, I like the Eagles.
We'll be back to wrap it up. Braylon has strong thoughts.
Wrapping it up, we're done.
The number one scorer potentially in the NBA. We'll get to LeBron James next, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. One of 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area, many more nationwide. Find one near you, and you can also register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free
30 seconds
and get started for as little as $5 a day.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, the winter bumper cars, and of course that indoor arcade. Plus, you can grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any home game by the Wings or the Piston. You got to get down there. You got to check it out. Shop, eat, and play downtown anytime with Decked Out Detroit. And, of course, you can always check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com.
JB, hot mics.
Hot mics, JB.
Hot mics.
I think that was mine. Like, I didn't mute it from the last commercial when I was reading.
Hot mics, JB.
Hot mics. Love hot mics.
I can guarantee all you guys are all gentlemen. Nothing bad.
Hot mics lead to lost jobs.
Ryan can be heard over an ocean. Yes, trust me, hot mics lead to lost jobs. Very good, very good.
JB, you could have been the end of me.
Wouldn't that be so ironic? That's so good. Hey, LeBron James, I know you want to say something about LeBron James.
I did. You know, for as of right now, LeBron James is 89 points behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points.
3 games, essentially.
Right, in NBA history.
Yeah.
Since his birthday, which is, I think, December 20-something, he's averaged 35 points a game. So LeBron's having a hell of a career at age 37. He's doing an amazing job. But it just dawned on me, and I'm asking this question, I want to bring it to you. Has there ever been a record that is about to be broken that is so storied? Like, this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, this is the gold standard. Like, think about it in this terms. Kobe tried to beat the record in 20 years, and he couldn't do it. Now, injuries played a major factor, but 20 years, Kobe tried, couldn't do it. We thought Karl Malone was going to do it in 21 years, didn't do it. Michael Jordan, who we call the best player of all time, didn't come close. Like, this is a record that is one of those Gretzky-type records where it's storied. For this to be such a storied record, and LeBron to be on the doorstep, why the hell isn't anybody really talking about it?
Because I think only baseball numbers are revered.
But this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right, I understand, but I'm just saying like numbers-wise, I think baseball numbers have a romantic relationship with the number. It's such a celebrated number, not the person, the actual number is celebrated. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is obviously celebrated, but nobody knows how many points he has scored. Like that number
39,000.
39,960
or something.
I'm saying, like, you know, everybody knows about 61.
It's supposed to be unattainable, though.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Gretzky, I mean, we're Gretzky. What's he at?
But I mean, look at Alexander Ovechkin just past Gordie Howe. I had no idea. Like, until, you know,
look when Tom Brady breaks a record. We hardly even talk about it.
Every time he wakes up, he breaks a record.
I mean, Drew Brees. Forget about Tom Brady. Now he ultimately broke it, but when Drew Brees broke the record, I was like, I didn't know it was a record.
It was a big deal. It was a big moment.
It was a big moment. They stopped the game.
His kids came on the field.
Right, but I don't think like university was like, oh my God, this record has been broken.
Yeah.
LeBron, this is a big record. It's been broken. Now, I'm not a record guy.
Yeah. I guess you're right with baseball. Baseball is the one with story numbers. When I think of baseball, I think of Cal Ripken.
That's it.
Most games played in. What was it, 26-41 or something like that?
He beat Lou.
He beat Lou Gehrig. So
listen, I'm pissed that he's going to have the record. That's just me. Now, you said he might do it this Saturday when they play the Bucks.
The reason why I think
how about this? Just a side note. Lakers and Bucks. Those are the two teams that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for.
And that's why I was saying that he's going to do it on Saturday, because you figure he's got 89 points to go. He can not play tonight if he doesn't want to. They got OKC tomorrow. He's definitely going to break that record because he's scoring at will. He's going to break that record on Saturday, and that's where I was going. It's because Kareem used to play for the Bucks as well.
That's good.
So I think that's when
he'll do that. Scripted.
Yeah, because you kind of can gauge numbers, I guess.
They know when to sit out, load management.
Load management.
They're all a bunch of loads, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But it sucks because it's like LeBron James, when it's all said and done, he's not stopping, by the way, after he breaks the record this year, because he's waiting for his son, who has to do a year of college, so he's another at least 2-3 years. LeBron is trying to break every record in the rule book because, and this is why I asked you, like, will Jordan fade with the records, like, in 50 years? And I'm telling you, I think the answer is yes. When LeBron's done, LeBron will be number 1 in rebounds. Well, maybe not rebounds, but he'll be top 5. He'll be number 1 in assists. He'll be number 1 in steals. He'll be number 1 in scoring. When you look at that list 50 years from now, how could you argue that he's not the best player of all time, especially if you weren't living during Jordan and whoever you compare him to?
It's the same way that somebody who's 70 years old right now will say that Wilt Chamberlain's the best basketball player to ever live, and not, you know, I mean,
everyone has their guy.
Everybody's got their guy. Every generation has their guy, and there's nothing that I'm going to tell my dad that is going to convince him otherwise than Wilt Chamberlain's the best basketball player that ever lived.
And I got the best.
Michael, you know,
my favorite player.
Yeah,
I got Julius Erving and Walt Frazier. That's who I grew up loving. I got 2 autographs on a ball. I got Julius Erving on an ABA ball. I got Walt Frazier on an NBA ball.
Julius Erving is the coolest NBA player to ever live. But until I see him shoot a jump shot, I'm not hearing nothing about Dr. J.
And we've all got our favorite players, right? I mean, like, you know, I'll go to my grave and tell my grandkids that I went to school with Tom Brady. And I watched Tom Brady's entire career from his first game to his last game. I watched this number 12 Tom Brady.
You were there.
And meanwhile, like, somebody else would be like, Tom Brady was the luckiest player to ever live.
His name's Rob Parker.
Right.
His name is Rob Parker.
You know, Brady this, Brady that. You know, I mean, so everybody's got their opinions. Everybody's got their guys.
I'm with Rob.
You know.
The Lote.
There you go.
Luckies.
I mean, you need help, right? He did win them.
Yeah.
But he needed a lot.
Football is the ultimate
help.
team game.
It is.
I mean, it's the ultimate.
But he's the guy that you
game.
see with hold his freaking hands up like that.
Well, it's a quarterback.
He's got 7 of them now.
You know?
Can't tell you.
I mean, who's getting all the love? Which team is going to get all the love, or which player on the team that wins is going to get all the love this week or next
Nose
week?
tackle.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the quarterback.
It's the quarterback or the coach.
You know?
Hey, Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame because the Jets won the Super Bowl and they merged. Other than that, he doesn't have Hall of Fame numbers, and I love Joe Namath.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? I'm glad somebody finally said it.
It's a fact.
Here's a trivia question for you guys before we get out of here. Who is the only person in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with 3 different franchises? As a player. 3 different franchises.
Got to be a defensive player.
You're on the right track. It is a defensive player. That was a very good assessment by you.
Deion Sanders?
No. 2 teams.
2 teams.
Huh.
Give me
a little older than that.
Give me it.
Start with the Raiders. Defensive guy.
Howie Long?
But this
Matt
time,
Millen?
There you go.
Matt Millen, Washington.
Redskins.
Raiders. Washington Raiders and 49ers.
49ers.
There you go.
Nice.
It is Matt Millen. I saw that today and thought about you guys.
Hey, guys, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, we appreciate it, man. If you are not, please subscribe to us on Apple or Spotify. Subscribe to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz podcast and give us a 5-star review if you're on that Apple podcast. Braylon, get us out of here.
Loss is still hard. I had a friend of mine lose her father. Want to send her some love. Loss is still tough. I think that COVID kind of, like in terms of, as the word, I forgot the word as I was trying to be smooth. But it basically made us immune to death. And that should never be the case. We should not be immune to death. We should share in it with each other, and we should be there to support those who are going through tough times. So if you're going through something, be sure to reach out to a friend. For my man, JB, Fletch over there, Maz on the couch, brother from another mother around the mind to my left. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and we appreciate you.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.